Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back with you. Well, today is the 10th of January, so we've got about 10 days of the nonsense coming out of Washington to put up with until Donald Trump gets fully inaugurated on the 20th. I can hardly wait. It can't come soon enough, at least for me. But what I wanted to talk about today was the issue of FEMA and the California wildfires that are going on right now, and they are devastating. To be perfectly blunt with you, this is a catastrophe beyond catastrophes. And they had all the time that they needed to prepare for it. They knew it was coming and they let it happen. But what I want to focus in on today is what the FEMA is going to be doing. And we'll have to see. Being from North Carolina, I'm pretty sensitive to how FEMA reacted to the floods and the hurricane that crashed through here recently that caused so much devastation in western North Carolina and in eastern Tennessee. FEMA, you can have them. So here's what's going on with FEMA right after the intro. FEMA announced that their fire management grants have been approved for the Palisades fire. And that's, I think, only one of 5 that are active right now in California. But here's what their news release says. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Region 9 Administrator authorized the use of federal funds January 7th at 2:57 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to assist the state of California in combating the Palisades fire, currently burning in Los Angeles County. The state of California submitted a request for fire management assistance grants, FMAGs. At the time of the request, the fire was threatening approximately 6,200 homes in and around Pacific Palisades, Los Angeles County, California, with a population of about 23,000. So I dug a little bit deeper to find out what FEMA has authorized to assist the people that are facing this devastating loss in California. And here's what we have learned so far. According to the White House, the federal government is deploying the following resources to Southern California. 5 Forest Service large air tankers operating in Southern California with an additional tanker en route. So that gives them 6 large air tankers. 10 federal firefighting helicopters performing operations in the area to support the state and local firefighters. Dozens of fire engines pre-positioned by the U.S. Forest Service that are ready to be deployed as needed, and fire management assistance grants, which I mentioned before, to reimburse the state for their firefighting costs that FEMA approved last night. So President Biden on Thursday announced that the federal government will support California's efforts to fight the raging wildfires for 180 days. Now that transitions into Donald Trump's administration, so we'll have to see how that does pay out. And to quote Biden, he said, "We're doing literally everything we can at a federal level," adding that he called the meeting to decide what more we could do. The president, who leaves the office in 11 days, this was yesterday's news, and said that he spoke Thursday morning with Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, who asked for an increase in the federal funding support from 75% to 90% to help the state. Biden announced the coverage would increase to 100% for 180 days, which means that the federal government will fully fund the priorities like fire responders' salaries well into the Trump administration. That's what's in the news right now. That's the most I can find about what FEMA's response is for this. What I didn't hear was how they're going to help the victims of the fires. And that may come at a later date, but we'll have to see. But there seems that the priority right now is to make sure that the state it comes out scot-free, because the federal government has committed to cover 100% of the costs for fighting these fires, for at least 6 months. So we'll have to see how all that pans out. Now, I mentioned earlier that the officials in California knew that this was coming. It's just kind of one of those inevitable things that California is presupposed to. But imagine if this was your house and it was your neighborhood, and you decided that you were going to reduce your fire readiness expenditures by millions of dollars, which is what they did. They cut the fire department's budget by $17+ million. Then they took their excess equipment and firefighting apparatus that they assumed was not needed for them and donated it to Ukraine to help them over there. So the third thing that they didn't do was make sure that they had enough water to fight the fires. And they apparently recently declared that some small fish gets priority over the safety of the citizens in California. So they, in their zeal for a Green New Deal, they diverted the water from its natural course and diverted it out into the Pacific Ocean in an effort to protect the smelt that was in danger out there. But imagine if you decided to do this, that you cut your firefighting equipment by a significant portion, and you took what you did have, like your extra fire extinguishers and fire blankets and stuff like that, and you just donated it away, and decided that any water sources that you've got really didn't need to be filled or retented or anything like that, so that you pretty much bone dry as you're facing a potential of some nasty fires in your home district, in your home, on your homestead. I can't imagine how much incompetence that would take to do that. But the kicker is, for me, that they decided, the federal government decided, to cover their butts in California 100% for at least 6 months. Now, you try that at home, and you donate all your fire equipment, all your readiness supplies, and don't fill up your reserve water tanks or anything like that, and expect that your insurance company is going to reimburse you 100% for the losses that you may incur if there's a fire at your homestead. That's not going to happen. Insurance companies, I think, are a little smarter than that. They're going to say, you contributed to this and we're not going to cover you, and see you later, bye. So just a word of caution out there. This kind of a fire can happen to anybody, anywhere, at any time, and you need to be ready for it. So make sure you've got auxiliary water, you've got a pump that you can use, that you've got fire extinguishers strategically located throughout your home. I've got 2 in my garage, in my shop, in my outshed, here in the kitchen. I've got a fire blanket that resides right next to the stove. And so I can't imagine that my insurance company, if my house were to burn down, isn't going to say I was irresponsible in approaching the losses that I may incur from a fire. So let it be a lesson to all of us. Be prepared for what may happen. Yeah, I know it's not going to happen to me, but it sure did happen to a ton of people in California. So be prepared, and be prepared always. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to stay prepared, and I'll see y'all on the next video.